This one maps every instrument to a piano. I'm pretty sure that it's the device that's skipping like that. Search for mobile homes. Yeah, so I think it's either playing just one channel of the MIDI, which it is mapped to a piano, or it's mapped all the channels to a piano. I don't remember. All right, it's NES emulator time, because naturally that's in the App Store. First, power up your play. Discover the top online games now with Best Search Now. Yeah, I'll dismiss that. All right, naturally, open last on. Naturally, I have ROMs on here. I have games on my phone. All right, it's Mario time. If I can remember how the fuck we started. There we go. Okay. There. All right. So this is a Snapdragon 201, and it absolutely cannot handle Mario. Which is really funny, because I know the processor can do it. But you have to wonder who would develop this. Like, who's the... I don't like the amount of hum that we're getting off of that already, so I'm actually going to drop the... There we go. Okay. All right, I'm going to hit play on this mod file again so we can get an idea what the volume levels are like. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, I'm going to turn that back up again then. All right, cool. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go unmute the mic. Well, I was hoping that would just play the mic through the speaker, but it doesn't seem to be. Oh shit, there it goes. You have to adjust up this mix level. Oh god. Okay, I'm sorry if I just blew out your ears, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna mute my primary mic here.
Hello, hi. Oh god. Oh, that is rough. Let me turn that down for a little bit. Sorry, it's really hard to dial this in. Okay. So obviously we've got the 60 hertz noise, like that sucks. But now, okay, I have to admit, the typing is bad, but it's not as bad as I expected. Oh god, that's pretty fucking awesome. Oh god, that's... Sorry! Oh, that's so fucking loud. Yeah, I'm going to be doing all of my... It's a real shame that I no longer have a day job, so I can't say I'll be doing all my conference calls on this. But, imagine being the piece of shit who jumps onto the conference call like this. Oh, God. Let me unplug that. Where the fuck is the cable?
Our long national nightmare has come to a close. Fuck. Okay. Now, last thing before we go, video games, folks. There's video games. Do you got games on your workstation? Do you got games on your server? I do. We're gonna play 2 games before we go. The first one is pool. I'm gonna play pool. Sort of. It's sort of pool. Oops. Alright. Oh, I'm sorry. That song was called Echoing. I'm going to show you the actual name of it because it can be a little hard to find. Sir? Oh, that's right. There's a bug in that game that causes it to never let go of the damn keyboard. Whoa. Okay, so yeah, mod echoing 93. That's what you want to look up, because there's a bunch of remixes of it that sound quite different. Didn't Doom come as standard on 6.1? Not that I have found. So this is Xpool, and so the first thing you notice is that when we start out, the cue ball is not in the middle, which is a little strange. But we can grab it and we can put it where we want it. Okay? And now, what the fuck was that? Did you hear that?
No.
Just a moment, folks. Sorry, the air conditioner in this room just made a really strange noise. By the way, just real quick vibe check. I'm using a new mic, and I'm shooting this in my girlfriend's office, and there's been an air conditioner running in here for the entire stream. Has it been disruptive? Has it been bothering anybody, or has anybody cared? When I did tests earlier, it seemed like it wasn't too terribly intrusive, but I am curious. Oh, okay, actually, people on the stream heard the boom, so it did happen. I'll listen to the VOD later. Okay, yeah, nobody's noticing it. Terrific. That's what I thought. This mic is actually, this is an Elgato Wave Neo, and generally speaking, I recommend this thing. If you're looking for a, like, just look it up. It's smaller than a Blue Yeti, it's much simpler, and the audio quality seems fantastic. Like from what people say, the only difference between this and the Wave, well, there's some difference between this and the Wave 3. I think it's heavier, better built, comes with a shock mount. It's got local headphone monitoring, which this doesn't, and some other things. If you don't care about any of those, then I can't see why you would buy the other one. And a lot of other people seem to have the same sentiment. But quality-wise, this seems fantastic. So, anyway, let's play pool. So we do this, and oh, look at that. It's got the trajectory calculator, and it's live. And I like that. I wish it would do 2 or 3 levels of it. That'd be cute. But so that's cool. And then if we press the middle mouse button, we get this little grid, which helps us track our movement as we fine-tune our shot. Pretty sick, right? All right, let's take our shot. Okay. Now, the physics here are not very good. Like, they look good, but I've read the manual, and they're actually, like, technically very inaccurate. But it's passable enough for just messing around on the computer. When you pot a ball, it goes into the little chamber at the bottom there, from which you can get it back out later. So it's like one of those tables, you know what I'm talking about. And, yeah, so it's pool, except for the part where there's no rules whatsoever, and you can just hit balls whenever you want. You can actually hit a ball while it's still rolling, and it'll just let you do that. In fact, it'll even live. Everything updates live, because this is not actually a game. It's not a game. This is not a game. It is part of a package called Flying. And Flying is some German guy named Helmut Honig's, like, school project, where he was just messing around with, like, you know, X animation routines and, like, writing classes for some sort of smoothly animated something. I don't know what his original project was, but he was going to make an app for simulating flying objects. So the original binary was called Flying. And then he came up with the idea of testing the routines by writing like a billiard simulation, because it was like a reasonable thing to do with the routines that he'd written. And so that's as far as he got. You can put balls back on the, this is just what I was going to get to. You can put balls back on the table, and here's what happens. You're like, okay, there's the first one, then the next one will go next to it, and then it'll start building the triangle. No, it just sends them off to the right until it runs out of space, and then they just go off the edge of the board, and now they're out here in the no man's land outside the board, and sometimes they pop back in, like they'll glitch back in sometimes, but then other times they're just out there forever. I think, yeah, I don't know where the holes are. I think they might be the pockets. And you can grab a ball and roll it around, but it's still stuck outside. So these balls are just sort of, they're just over now. Oh, there we go. I managed to get one to clip through into a pocket. Also, you can just grab a ball and roll it around, and yeah. And Red Hat put it on a disc. They pressed this to a disc at a commercial CD pressing facility, and they sold this at Egghead Software to millions of people. It's really funny, and I'm not making any of that up. You can get in here. That's right. Every time you exit the app, it doesn't unseize the keyboard correctly till you switch windows. If we do man flying, then we get this little, little diary entry from Helmet. Yeah, it's called Flying, and you won't be able to find it anywhere most likely, and I'm going to explain why in a second. So, like I said, the man file just straight up explains that this is not actually a game, a test program to implement some classes to control flying objects. It says the games don't have any rules yet, and somewhere in here is like, rules will have to be added in later revisions. There never were any later revisions. At the bottom of the man file, we see that this was updated in July 1995, which was 4 years ago at the time that this version of Linux was produced. I'd also like to point out that Helmet here says that he's collecting banknotes, and if you'd like to join his collection, then just send any bill that you like, sign it, send it to him, and he'll stick it on his world map. Also, he includes an email for comments and a snail mail for gifts. So if you'd like to send Helmet a gift, just like send him something, you can do that. It's... And I found that Helmet made several other packages, various games and other things for Linux, but then he just evaporates from the fossil record in 1996. And I know exactly why, because there's only ever one explanation. He graduated from university. The overwhelming majority of FOSS software packages, like projects that you'd never hear about, that are like promising but don't go anywhere, it's because the guy graduated. It's always a European dude who's at university, and then when he leaves university, he never goes on the internet again. He gets a job, and then he never goes on the internet again. No one ever hears from him, and the project is just dead. And it's just... it's always been like this. Oh, so the deluxe flag is not actually very exciting. Unfortunately, we were playing in deluxe mode. Let me fire it up in not deluxe mode. So you see how the balls here are just very plain looking? And they don't have like any sort of rolling effect. The deluxe mode pre-calculates a bunch of bitmaps representing the ball in every single possible rotational state. So these look 3D, but they're actually all just pre-calculated in a matrix somewhere, and some clever code is being used to pick the correct sprite. It's very neat, actually. Yeah, that's on by default. Yeah. So there's X pool, X snooker, X. Oh, sorry. I forgot for the Canadians in the audience. So we've got a curling simulation, if you want to call it that. And the way this works, this obviously uses much of the same code, except that there's no shooting. There's no shooting implementation. Instead, you just grab one and huck it, and if you overshoot, it goes into the thing at the bottom. There we go. Wow, that is the worst curling shot in history. I'm taking a mulligan on that. It's not a shot, is it? In curling, I'm sure they've got some weird... The same way that like tennis has all these bizarre words for everything, I'm sure curling has a strange word for throwing the... Damn it, the rock. Okay, well that's better. Didn't do it. It's a very poor curling simulation. Like it really would have been better if they just had the damn shooting interface. Sweep, throw. Okay, all right. So that's that one. And then finally, we've got X Hockey, which is a simulation of air hockey specifically. So you've got the pucks here. And then, yeah, it's, yeah. And there's